Hey guys, welcome in. It is, oh my gosh, today's the day. Today is the day. I'm super stoked. I'm super pumped. Today is October 21st. For one thing, it's the day before my mom's birthday. Her birthday is tomorrow, but it is 50 days before my 50th birthday. That's my timing, right? 50 days before my 50th birthday. So this is the moment, the day that I have been waiting for and planning for weeks now. So I want to share with you guys some exciting stuff that's coming up for the next 50 days as I march powerfully into my 50th year. I remember when I was younger, I was like 10, and I remember not wanting to get older, and now like getting older is exciting because I realize how much I learn each and every year, and how much better I get and how much more I can give back and serve, and just everything. It's just a completely different feeling than what I thought heading into 50 was going to be like. So as you guys are coming in, share the video out. I'm going to make some announcements today about the Power of 50 movement and what it's all about, and exactly what I've got going on, along with some other extremely powerful women in the Power of 50 community. So my name is Marci Batiste. Welcome. I'm an Ultimate Power Coach, America's #1 reality-based success and recovery trainer. And I welcome you to the Power team. I'm so glad that you guys are here. I'm so glad you're joining in today. 50 years. And I was, so for the last few weeks, I've been kind of introspective, and I've been doing a lot of planning. It happens to be my reset season. So beginning at the beginning of the fourth quarter, I always start doing some reviews of the previous year. I do reviews of the relationships I'm involved with, the friendships that I have, the organizations that I'm associated with, and I start resetting. So some things get to stay, some things get amplified, and some things get discarded, put to the side, and some things just get moved to the back burner. So that's really what this season for me, this reset season, is all about. And as part of that, as I was thinking about what 2019 holds, I realized, you about to be 50, girl. You about to be 50. And although I was telling someone on a call yesterday, I think it was, that I don't think I look 50, but I know for sure. Well, I can't even say I know for sure I don't feel 50, because I've never felt 50 before. So I don't know what 50 is supposed to feel like, but I feel amazing. I'm in a place of satisfaction with who I am. I'm very proud of my accomplishments thus far. But the one thing that I have said for the last 5 years is that when I hit 50, I want my next 50 to be way more amazing, way more impactful than my first 50. And so my first 50 was packed with a lot of life lessons, a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, a lot of anger, a lot of resentment, abuse, abuse of self, and abuse at the hands of others. And so what I knew to be true, even at 45, was that 50, all that stuff was no more. So I knew I had to do some work for the last 5 years to clean house, to purge some things, to end some relationships, to do some things differently. And so I set about very, very intentionally, very strategically to do that. And so now here we are, 50 days before my 50th birthday, and I'm super freaking pumped about it. But what I have a personal mission statement that I have up in my office here, and I keep it on my wall to remind me of exactly what got me here, what's going to keep me from ever going back to making some of the same mistakes that I've made, besides the fact that I've learned better. So when you know better, you do better, hopefully, but that's not always the case. And so my personal mission statement says that I want to lead with my heart and love with my head, and to leave a legacy that my daughters will be proud to say, that's my mama, and this is what she stood for. And every single decision I make, I think about that mission statement. Am I leading? Why do I say to lead with my heart instead of loving with my heart, and then to love with my head? And that's because for those of you who have been in relation with me, either personally or online for a while now, you know that in 2012, I had a very traumatic experience with domestic violence that actually changed my life. That situation probably in many ways saved my life because it forced me to do some things differently. But that's where to lead with my heart comes from, is a reminder of myself to always be a leader of myself, of my community, of others, to carry myself and conduct myself in such a way that I am seen and viewed as a leader. But never to forget the heart, never to forget to be open to love on somebody else, not to be fearful to be loved again by someone else. So always leading with heart, knowing that, everybody's going through something. Just because you don't see it, you don't know their experiences. And so many times, by God's grace, we don't look like what we've been through. We don't look like what we've been through. So no matter how I lead, I know that I have to lead with my heart. I have to lead with love, with care, with understanding, with compassion, with empathy. And so that's what to lead with my heart means. And then I say to love with my head, because loving with my heart got me in trouble. Having a good heart can get you in some tough spots. That much I know to be true. Having a big heart can get you in some tough spots. But you have to love with your head. That's what I believe. Like, you can't just go off the raw emotion. You have to use your tools. You have to use what you know. You have to use the lessons that you've learned. That's what's going to keep you out of those tough situations. If I only loved with my heart like I used to, I'd find myself in the midst of a love miscarriage again. I'd find myself in the midst of domestic violence again. I would find myself in the midst of heartache and heartbreak and pain and struggle and suffering and compromise and all these things that I don't want to be. They're part of my history, but I don't want them part of my now story. And I certainly don't want them part of my new story when I'm 50, right? And so that's what the love with my head means. And then the final part is to leave a legacy that my daughters can be proud to say, that's my mom. This is what she stood for. That to me is paramount. It's paramount because long after I'm gone, there'll be reminders of who I am and what I stood for. And, I shared with you guys the other day, I have a sign on my wall that someday you will change the world. And what I realized at some point along the way is that every day we change the world. We either change the world for the better or we change it for worse. The world's either better because we're here or it's not as good because we're here. And it's up to us every single day to, in every interaction, decide what's that going to be? What's that legacy going to look like for you? And, I've written 8 books so far. I'll have 10 by the end of the year. The one that I'm going to talk about today, called The Power of 50, is the 10th one. And this is my legacy. This is my legacy. This is what I want my mark on the world to be. And the power of 50 represents the wisdom of womanhood. And, one of the things that I talk about with my clients, with my coaching clients, we talk about the difference between knowledge and wisdom. And so many people have knowledge, they're educated, they're smart, but they don't have wisdom because they're not applying the knowledge that they have. They're not applying and using the tools that they've been given and that they've amassed in their toolbox. And so for me, it's not about the knowledge. It's about the wisdom. How are you going to put it into action? How are you going to leave your mark on the world? What is the legacy that I want to leave? And I decided that I want to celebrate 50. I want to celebrate that milestone. I want to celebrate the women who've come before me, who have done amazing things and have made it possible for me to be 50 and be happy and proud and comfortable in my own skin, no matter my size, no matter my complexion, no matter where I come from, no matter what I've done. And one of the things I share all the time is I may have done the things you say I've done, but I'm not who you say I am. I get to define that. And it's because of the women who went before me, who had experiences far more traumatic than mine, that I'm able and fortunate enough to be able to say that I get to define me today. Because there was a long time that a lot of women couldn't vote, let alone have a voice, be able to speak out and make a difference and truly make an impact. And so for me, the Power of 50 movement is my legacy. The Power of 50 book will be the platform that the legacy is built on. And so I'm excited because I've been sharing and visiting and talking with a number of really, really amazing women. And the Power of 50 book is going to be a compilation of stories and life lessons. They are truly stories of womanhood and wisdom, where, women are going to come through and they're going to tell their stories. In some cases, women that have never spoken out before, not just about domestic violence, but of a whole lot of things. It might be, personal childhood traumas. It might be things with their parents. It might be things with their family members or getting over the death of a child. There's all kinds of experiences that we've all been through. And while I could come up with 50 life lessons, I certainly haven't experienced everything. And so what I know to be true is we are so much better together than we are apart. And so I was like, how can I build and create this truly legacy building platform my sisters in? And so that's what is about to take place. You guys are going to start seeing the Power of 50 all over the place. We have, the book will be released on my birthday on December 11th, where everything's in the process now. All systems are go. The ladies are excited. And so for the next 50 days, I'm going to come to you with stories of wit and womanhood and wisdom and share with you guys. You'll get to meet some of these amazing women who are just out there doing amazing things. The Power of 50 really is why I call it a legacy of life lessons, is because it's designed in twofold. One is to reach back for the sisters that are coming behind us, the younger generation of women, the women who are still in their 40s and their 30s and even their 20s and even in their teens, to let them see, these are some of the experiences. This is what we've been through. These are some experiences you might face. This is how we got through it. And ultimately, the goal then is to help them shorten their learning curve. And if they've gone through something painful, it's our hope that through our experiences and by our willingness to share our stories, it'll shorten their learning curve. It'll quicken the pace of their healing and help them to move through and navigate to a place of comfort and safety much more quickly than if not. One of the things that the ladies and I have been talking about is that through a lot of our experiences, people just don't talk about the ugly stuff. Nobody wants to talk about the traumas. Nobody wants to talk about, what do you do if? How do you handle it if? And so the Power of 50 is our ability to tell those stories, to communicate and to deliver that message in a safe space and in a way that people can learn at their own pace. You can pick up the book and you're going to get a wide variety. It's not a domestic violence book, but there will be some stories about overcoming domestic violence. And that was a big part of my story. And unfortunately, it's a big part of a lot of women's stories. 3 out of 4 women are victimized at the hands of someone who is supposed to love them. And so intimate partner violence, domestic violence, molestation, like I said, the death of a child, conquering and overcoming diseases, cancer, autoimmune diseases. So there's all this stuff that our women are battling with and struggling with. And so we want to help our younger sisters come behind us and be able to quicken the pace, help them either avoid a landmine or quicken the pace on their healing and speed up that healing process. The second part of it is to then, one of the things that I've heard coaching with women of a variety of ages is, I feel like I'm too old to start. I feel like it's too late. Like I already gave up my youth per se. I gave up on my dreams. I gave up on my passion. I don't think I can do it now. I'm too old. It's too late. It's not too late. It's not too late. And so that's the second part of it, is to show women who are 50 and above, it's really just beginning, baby. The party starts now. Like for most of us, by the time we've hit 50, the kids are out of the house. We done lived through some things. We done been through some things. We done seen some things. We done came through the fire, and we're better because of it. And I truly believe that you find a place that all of a sudden you can hold your shoulders back, you can hold your head up, and you are truly, truly proud of the woman that you've become. But that's not the case for everybody. And so that's what the Power of 50 does for the women who are 50 and over, who are still struggling, trying to come to terms with maybe their self-esteem, come to terms with some of their struggles from the past. And for those who have dreams and visions and passions and things that they wanted to pursue and never did, we're here to tell you, sis, you got this. We can do this. Check it out. Look what so-and-so's doing. Look at the platform they've built. Look how, she's 60 and she's just now starting her business, but this is what she's managed to accomplish just in a short amount of time. And so those are the stories, you guys. Those are the stories that we're going to build a movement off of. We're going to build a legacy for women to celebrate one another, to encourage one another. And, I truly think as I was preparing for this project and I was seeking out women to participate, and I've talked to some of the women, and we'll be doing one-on-ones with each of them over the course of the next week or so. But the common thread is, I've been wanting to tell my story. I just didn't know how. There's been several that have I've been wanting to write a book, but I just didn't know how. I didn't have the platform. I didn't feel like I had the voice. And so to be able to be part of them being able to share their stories and share their voice, that's what the Power of 50 is all about. That's the spirit behind the Power of 50. For all of us to grow and support and truly, truly, truly realize that we're changing the world every single day. Everything that you've been through, everything that you've gone through, everything that you will yet go through is not for no reason. So the Power of 50, so you're going to see the book coming out December 11th. There's some stuff that's going to be coming out. We'll have probably the release party at the end of January for the Power of 50 book. Tons and tons of great stuff. I can't even hardly express to you how excited I am about this movement, how honored I am that these women have literally just jumped on board and said, let's do this. Let's make this happen together. Let's change the world. And it is truly, truly going to be, it's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a lot of work. But when I tell you that there's so much love behind this project, there is so much passion behind this project, and the genuineness of all of the contributors for this book and for this movement is 100% authentic. Their willingness to share and be transparent is humbling beyond words. I literally, and I always have something to say, I literally cannot find the right words to express how much this means to me that we're going to be able to put this project together and create this movement for women to support other women. And it really is, it's about womanhood and it's about wisdom. You know, we talk about sisterhood, and I think that that's a big part of it, but there's a certain thing that happens at womanhood that, you know, you bring all your sisters along, and then you start talking about these experiences, right? You start talking about these life lessons. You start talking about impact and influence. You start talking about, you know, the ways that you've grown and you've changed and you've been able to kind of carve out your special place in the world. And that's the gift that the Power of 50 is going to give back to the world, is the sisterhood comes together to share the wisdom. And it is that spirit of womanness and camaraderie and love and tenderness and authenticity that you're going to see in the Power of 50 book, and that you're going to experience as part of the overall Power of 50 movement. So you will see, I'll add some links, but there's now a Power of 50 Womanhood and Wisdom group that you are more than welcome. I invite you all to join that. That's open and available to you. There's also a page called The Power of 50. So I encourage you, please go and like the page. For some things, they're only going to be found in the group. They're not going to be found on my public page because they're specific to this project and specific to the movement. So if you want to keep up to date on everything, I encourage you to like the Power of 50 Facebook page, and then also to go in and join the Power of 50 movement group. It's called Womanhood and Wisdom. It's called the Power of 50 Womanhood and Wisdom. And so I totally invite you guys to participate in that. And then if you are a woman who is over 50 or 50 and above, I should say, even if you just like on the cusp like me, like I'm on the cusp of 50, if you're on the cusp, hit me up if you're willing to share your story. I really want to highlight as many women as possible in the next 50 days as we are doing this build up and we're getting ready to release the book. I want the momentum to pick up, and certainly you sharing your stories is going to make it so much more impactful. So again, if you're on the cusp of 50 like me within the next couple months, 6 months or whatever, hit me up. If you're over 50 already, my best friend just turned 50. And so she's teasing me about being my elder. So if you are one of my elders, please, by all means, reach out if you are interested at all in joining the movement, sharing your story, doing an interview, or becoming a contributor to the project. I welcome you. So that's it. That's my big announcement. Again, go like the page, The Power of 50. Go join the group, The Power of 50 Womanhood and Wisdom. And stay tuned. There is lots and lots of good stuff coming with this project. Like I said, the book release party will be in January, so be on the lookout for that. Be in the end of January, the first week of February. We haven't decided for sure, but that'll be coming up in the next couple months. And TV appearances, radio appearances, you name it, we are about ready to go out and literally leave a legacy of life lessons. And I'm so excited for you guys to join the journey with me. So that's it for me for now. We're starting today, officially 50 days, my 50th birthday. So hang out with me for the next 50 days. Drop in on the videos, catch the replays, and please, by all means, and above all else, if you know women that can benefit from this kind of community, please share the videos. Share the videos, invite them to join the page, invite them to join the groups. I would love, 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 love to have all the authentic women march alongside one another, sharing their wisdom of womanhood in this movement. So that's it for me today, guys. I appreciate you for joining in. I have an article to finish for a guest blog in Chicago, and I've got to get started writing my 10th book. So that's it for me today, guys. Thanks as always for being part of the Ultimate Power team. I love you. I thank you. I appreciate you for always living life on Mars with me. So welcome to the Power of 50. It's supposed to be on and popping. I'll talk to y'all later.